guys, we got this. Let's go. Gun wide trip sweep. Pros X go. On one. Ready?
Ready.
What's going on, everyone? ACAP24 here from HuddleGG. And today we're going to talk about the kickoff team. I know we got a lot of people that are struggling on the defensive side of the ball when they kick the ball to basically stop their opponent from having really good returns, a lot of touchdowns and whatnot. We're going to talk about what ratings that you're going to look for on your players and what positions they are. And then my top 3 players when I say you need to have these guys on the field because of the way that they are doing the best when it comes to the kickoff return, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and start off by saying I always kick the ball off deep right, and I'm always actually going to kick it off, all right? So I'm going to just start off with them just going ahead and returning it to the left, right? So basically, they're returning it towards where we're kicking it, and we'll go from different things here. So I'll go into instant replay after I kick this, and we'll go and talk about a few things here, okay? So when we kick it, the first thing I do is actually I use my kicker and I run down, right? I don't want my guys to get out of their lanes. And there's for good reason for that. You get them out of their lanes, a lot of times what's going to end up happening is that they're going to kind of go and open up holes. Now, when we're talking about kickoff team, you got to know who's going to each spot. So let's start there, okay? So on the right side, if we look over here from right to left, we'll start off with our cornerback here. This is going to be your cornerback number 4, okay? So he's your outside guy. Then you're going to have your free safety number 2 at the spot right here at number 29. 31 here is going to be your strong safety 1. This is going to be your running back 2 in Harris. And this is going to be your right outside linebacker here at 28. Okay. Now here is going to be number 45 is going to be your middle linebacker number 2. Number 27 is your strong safety number 2. Number 6 is going to be your left outside linebacker number 2. Ali Cox, which I actually put a tight end here, he's actually going to be your wide receiver 4. And then even though Del Pitt's a safety, I have him here. He's going to be your cornerback 3. Okay, so it's very important to know who's going where, okay? Now, the other thing that's predictable is if I kick the ball deep right, whether they're in middle return, left return, or right return, a lot of the same people are targeting the same people. So we're going to want to make sure that we have our aces in places, okay? For me, the aces in places are these players here, okay? The 2 players on the right need speed. They're going to have speed. They're good. They usually aren't going to be the ones that are going to be needed to break tackles. Number 31 is going to be a strong safety 1. You're going to want him to be a good player. Your number 28 here is going to be somebody that's your right outside linebacker. There's a lot of times when they have middle return, he doesn't get touched. He goes right up the gap. So you want somebody with some speed there and has some really high impact block. And then over here are your aces, okay? These 3 players are the ones that are going to be making or breaking your kickoff team, in my opinion. And all 3 of these guys have very, very high impact block because when they make the point of contact with their player, that's what comes into play. It's not block shed. Block shed's more O-line versus D-line. This is going to be people in movement versus people in movement. That's why if you look at impact block, a lot of times defensive players are really high in impact block because it does matter in this interaction. So what I have here is the rookie premier here, Tula Pelota, which is going to be my middle linebacker number 2. And then what you're going to see here on this side is my strong safety number 2. I think he's going to be the most important player here. And then you've got Perryman, which Perryman is going to be my outside linebacker, my left outside linebacker number 2. Now he's only a 5,000 point card, but he's got really high impact block and he's a little bit slower, which I actually like that. Okay, so we kick this ball off. I just got to go over. I know I went over a lot of things here. We kick it off. You're going to see that these guys are going to have this reaction, right? So I'm just going to go back here and show you that the first person that usually goes ahead and has a reaction or a interaction, and I'll show you here, it's usually going to be number 31. 31 is going to be usually the first one that actually gets somebody to take on, right? And he does usually a really good job of getting off his block. You can see our number 28 does a really good job of getting off his block. All these guys have high impact block. And when they return to this side, they really don't have a whole lot of room to do anything with. It's just kind of one of those deals that we got a lot of people coming around and you're good to go. Now, you do want to have people that if the tiebreaker, in my opinion, impact block's the biggest one, pursuit is the second one, right? Now, the guys that I'm going to tell you that need to get off their blocks, 27 has to get off his block. And the reason for that is he's your backside player, right? So if he gets blocked, there's nobody for the cutback. So what you'll see a lot of times, I want this guy to get off my block and seal it. And he's going to be one of my best players because he's actually going against typically what's going to be, you see here, a backup linebacker. And if they don't have the greatest players in that spots, you're going to win that impact block every time, and he has to seal that edge, okay? So what we're going to do here, and we're going to waste a kick. Every time that you get off of instant replay, they're going to waste the kick. So just bear with me here. What we're going to do here is we're going to change this to where now we're going to have them come to, instead of going to the left, we're going to have them return right, okay? This way you can kind of see it. Always kick off deep right, and we're going to have them go ahead and return right lead, right? Same difference, kick this ball up. We're going to show you the same interactions and why you want aces in places, right? If you guys are on a theme team, if you have backup players that aren't very good, you're going to get yourself in a spot where you're not going to have these sheds off of it. I've got a very good team on offense, and I've got the best players I can as my backups here. And you're going to see that our impact blocks are going to basically, go ahead and stuff them here. Watch. You see here again, these guys are going to get down the field. You see how 28 is kind of like my headhunter with his speed and the way he gets down there. And you can see how he is getting blocked. And the person he's getting blocked by is actually your number 4 receiver here. Okay? And you can see how the number 4 receiver just doesn't allow him to get there. Even though they're returning it to the right, we're going to close on this pretty well. Now, if you look backside, remember the person I need to get off their block is number 27. And you can see here, he gets off his block pretty simply, right? Even though he got hit pretty hard. We don't want them to be in a spot to where they are getting held up to where they can't get to. See how 31 here isn't getting off his block at all? That's going to hurt us in the long run. We want our guys to get off and get inside leverage, right? Now, what we'll do is we'll do this kick again, and I'm going to do it up the middle. I don't want to get this video to be so long where it's kind of boring for you, but I want to make sure that you understand why the players are in the spots. So as I go this kind of recap here, you want to get as many players as you can in with high impact block, and you want to make sure that they're in the right spots. Strong safety number 2 is going to be one that you're going to really want. You're going to want somebody in the right outside linebacker number 1, and you're going to want somebody in your left outside linebacker number 2, and your middle linebacker number 2. Those are going to be the people that you want, right? And again, I don't click on anybody until I get a spot to where I feel like I got an open hit on them. And you're going to see how these guys get down. By having number 20 here, JOK, he's going to be that winner. Goes right down the field. A lot of times he won't even get touched on the middle return. That time he did a little bit, but that opened up, basically 32 to get out there. And you can see here, those guys are really kind of closing in the doors. If they were to cut back, you need to have number 27 be that all-star. He has to be able to get off of his block. And you're going to see that he will. And a lot of times what I'm seeing people when they're messing up their kickoff returns, they're either kicking it in the middle of the field, which is a little bit harder. And then they're also having backups in these spots where they're not getting the best impact block players to get off of the blocks. You can see like almost every single one of my guys gets off their blocks right away because of the way that I've got an advantage over the return team in that. So hopefully this video helps you guys. I know it's kind of like one of those off videos, something you might want to return and watch it a second time, where players go and all that type stuff. But once you get this down, you're going to see that you have a lot more success covering kicks. Don't have to do the squib kick it deep, kick it right, feel good about it, and basically use the kicker until you get somebody like here. When I see number 32 is basically open, now I can go click on him. But don't click on them until you get to the point where you're not ruining their lanes and basically working in that way. If you're going to click on anybody, click on the 2 outside right guys and basically go up the field, making sure that you seal the outside in, because that's going to help you in that regard. Don't ever try to click on any of these middle guys as you go up the field, because if you get them out of their lanes, that's really what's going to hurt yourself from having great kickoff coverage where their responsibilities are intact. Appreciate it, guys, and we'll catch you on the next video.